June 14, 2025, on President Trump's 79th birthday and the day of his military parade in Washington, D.C., thousands of Americans took to the streets in what they called the No Kings protests. These demonstrations were more than symbolic. They were coordinated acts of resistance against what many participants described as rising authoritarianism, a rejection of power concentrated in one man, and a call to preserve the core ideals of American democracy. Organizers deliberately selected Flag Day, also Trump's birthday, for maximum contrast. While the president showcased military might in the Capitol, demonstrators across the country marched with signs quoting the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. To them, the military parade echoed monarchies and dictatorships, not a democratic republic. Their slogan, "No Kings," was a pointed rebuke of what they see as creeping autocracy. The protests were organized under the banner of the 5501 movement, a coalition that brought together more than 200 groups, including MoveOn, the ACLU, and major labor unions. The name represents the goal: protests in all 50 states as one unified movement. Their mission: to show that America belongs to the people, not to billionaires, dynasties, or unchecked executives. It was one of the largest multi-organizational protest efforts in recent years. Philadelphia, the symbolic birthplace of American democracy, was chosen for the movement's flagship rally. Tens of thousands gathered around Independence Hall, waving flags and chanting "No Kings" as they marched through the historic streets. Many held banners that quoted the Founding Fathers, reminding the nation that the United States was created to escape monarchy, not to flirt with its return. The crowd's tone was defiant but deeply patriotic. Major demonstrations also took place in cities across the country. In New York City, around 50,000 marched down Fifth Avenue in a tightly coordinated show of civil resistance. In Los Angeles, Chicago, Denver, and Atlanta, large crowds protested recent immigration raids and voiced concern about attacks on LGBTQ+ rights, civil liberties, and voting protections. The message was consistent across regions. Democracy must be defended in every corner of the nation. Smaller cities and towns added to the nationwide momentum. In Hartford, Connecticut, citizens gathered in the rain to speak out against executive overreach and in favor of immigrant rights. In San Antonio, local leaders led rallies at Travis Park, emphasizing unity across ethnic and economic lines. From coastal metros to conservative suburbs, people joined not just in protest, but in a collective statement of democratic responsibility. The No Kings campaign wasn't the only group demonstrating that day. In Washington, D.C., the organization Refuse Fascism led a separate rally directly opposing the military parade. They carried bold signs and chanted slogans denouncing what they called an emerging fascist movement in America. Though separate from the main coalition, their goals were aligned: resisting any leader or government structure that places itself above the law. Despite the scale of the protests, the majority remained peaceful. Organizers trained volunteer marshals and de-escalation teams to maintain nonviolence. Medical tents were available in larger cities, and safety coordination was a top priority. A few minor confrontations occurred, mainly in cities where law enforcement clashed briefly with fringe demonstrators, but no major arrests of core organizers were reported. The tone remained disciplined and focused. This day of action followed a similar wave of mobilization back in April, known as the hands-off demonstrations. The momentum has only grown since then. Protest leaders now aim to build on that energy with voter registration drives and civic engagement campaigns. Their stated goal is to move beyond protest and influence local, state, and national elections, transforming slogans into policy and public pressure into legislative outcomes. From coast to coast, the message was loud and clear: there are no kings in America. The people, not any single person or party, hold the power. As the country heads toward the midterm elections, the No Kings movement may become a defining force in reshaping the political landscape. Whether it changes the course of electoral politics remains to be seen, but its call to defend democracy has already echoed across the country.